All right, we are in a lovely Detroit. A little overcast skies here. It's nice. And I thought I'd let y'all ride along today. This is a 767-300 flight factor aircraft. I can't say that I'm a professional at using it per se. I'm not a real airline pilot. Um, and I have never had a successful landing with this aircraft. Now I say that I have had a landing with a 767, this particular model, but my ILS, some things went wrong, did not work correctly, was not a pleasant experience. Um, Probably my passengers didn't care for it. So I thought we would try to take a little jaunt, and we'll see if we can have a good. The flight itself, I mean, the actual navigation that things we'll walk through uh, are really are good, and the FMS, the McDo, the two different kinds of primary navigation tools that we use, you do have to kind of flex or adjust between one to the other. But for this one, this FMS, I do like this older FMS that is on the this Boeing model. And Flight Factor did a good job, I think. And I've watched a couple of actual really good pilots, like airline pilots, that have flown it, and they say this is pretty good. So let's spend some time with it today, and we're going to see what happens. So we're also going to be using Say Intentions for the flight. That will just give us a solid ATC. So we are not going to be on the VATSIM today. We're actually going to be on Say Intentions. If anyone's been thinking about trying it, use it. I think they have a trial. I think they do. Maybe this will give you a chance to see if you like it. I like it. It works for me. But there is a cost associated with what I use. But you judge for yourself. With the kind that we're using now, we're going to be using the kind of the standard way to use it. There are several ways to use it. The professional level, none of this is available to you. You don't have any ideas of the frequencies. You have to look the frequencies up like you would in an actual airplane. And you don't have a co-pilot on the other way that you use it. So the way this works, this particular version of it, and we're going to use it with what I consider. Let's see if I got here. I've got intercom. So on my intercom is Brian, our professional co-pilot today. On my secondary channel is my mentor, Millie Skybound. She's awesome. And she's AI, but she knows everything there is to know about the 767. And if I have a question along the way, I just want to ask her a question, she's on my Intercom 2 channel. On miscellaneous here, for Say Intentions, we have the live weather. Although we have active sky for our weather, so I'm going to switch that to active sky for our source. And we're using the ATC experience that is standard. Pro mode would take away all of this additional information that we have here. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it. In fact, Brian, by the way, still can't call on the radio yet because we're still cold and dark. So as soon as we come out of cold and dark, he'll be able to do his job. Okay. All right. First things first, we got to get some power. So let's go to the external power. Oh, excuse me. I had a brain fart. We want to go battery, and we're gonna bring up auto standby power. Gonna bring up the buses. We want the utility buses on also. And so that now we've got power in the aircraft.
Sir, it seems to be a bit chilly in the cabin.
I'm working on it. Give me a second. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get the navs up. So bam, bam. Okay, we're on this section now. So we're going to go yaw damper on, left and right. We're going to bring up the left engine pumps and auto. Right, you saw we already brought up power here. I'm not bringing up the APU quite yet. I'm going to leave things like they are. But I am going to turn on my position light and my wing light. Well, let's go ahead and bring all those lights up. We don't need anti-ice. And pumps are up. We leave the center pumps off. Window heat, we're going to go ahead and bring window heat up. We're putting our passenger signs to auto. That's just me. Some put it to on, but I just put it to auto. And over here we have our cabin temperature. We're going to bring that to auto. And I'm hoping maybe that will make the flight attendants not fuss at me. Trim air and recirculating fans. We also have the air conditioning unit attached to the plane at the current moment. If you want to know what something does, you can actually, usually you can click on it. You can't see it. Hold on, let me get where you can see it. Oh, that's kind of cheesy. Let me change the angle, see if I can get to where. Okay, so isolation valves to open on there. So pack-sort to off. And I'm going to go ahead and open the APU valve. It's not doing anything right at the exact moment right now, but it will be. It won't hurt anything to leave it like that for now. If you see where something special about your lights you want to bring up, this is the time to do it. And this next part that I'm going to do before I get to the FMS is I'm turning on the radio. This is where you turn on the radio, right here, but left and right center. So I have those on because otherwise Brian can't call for anything if that's off. So. Brian, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Steve.
Delta 8853 Charlie. We're ready to get our IFR clearance for Atlanta.
This is what the ATC audio sounds like, and next is what yours sounds like.
Sir, I think you should increase the temperature in the cabin.
8853 Charlie. we're ready to get our IFR clearance for Atlanta. You know what? Let's go ahead and have Brian do it. Brian, he's got our frequency. Brian, would you go ahead and get our IFR clearance for us?
Sure thing, Steve. I'll handle that.
Metro clearance, Delta 8853, heavy. We'd like to receive our IFR clearance. We have X-ray.
Clearance on request, stand by. Delta 8853, heavy. Metro clearance, cleared to Atlanta via the Clayvin 3 departure. Then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 124.05 squawk 4671. And a change to your departure runway. This time, you can expect runway 21 right. Clearance on request, stand by.
Okay, Delta 1171.
Right, you heard that. So that's good that we hadn't entered it yet.
Flight level 350, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 20.75 squawk 34444.
Clear this Delta 1303. Request IFR clearance to Minneapolis with information Victor.
Okay, so we'll walk through this. So we're currently at gay TTDTW KDTW, and so we're going to enter that there, and we're going to KATL. Let's go ahead and bring, just so y'all can kind of enjoy this with me, let's bring up our Navigraph charts. Let's load it. And on the Navigraph chart, even you see where it's got a 04 right, that has changed to 21 right. Our departure runway is 21 right. So we're going to pick 21 right here. Clavin 3 departure. And we are DAL, which is Delta. DAL 8853. Actually, it's C Charlie, so this is the C flight. We'll put that in there too. I think it'll let us. And runway is 21 right. There we go. If you notice on here, we got nothing here yet, but we got to go to departure, and we'll go depart from one way. We're first, we got to do Clavin 3 stays. 21 right. And we're going to be arriving out on 26 right.
Good afternoon, aircraft calling Metro clearance. Go ahead with your request. Information Tango is current.
Andre 1, arrival. Katrin. Somebody's complaining. Let's see what they're saying.
Sir, we are freezing back here. Please do something.
I've got it on auto and I got it right in the middle. Okay. So back to our route. Let's look at our route now. So it says here that we're going out on the Clavin 3 departure, runway 21 right, stays, and then direct. It's got a direct FLM. That's a lot of information it put on there right there. Let's try to put FLM. FLM. Alright, let's go here to do this. Okay, Clavin. Stays. Because stays to Katrin, it's the middle part that it's looking for. So after stays, we're going direct to FLM. Bam. And then from there, it's got some information. Our cruise altitude. Is that what that is? 370.
Clear to land of Calvin 3 departure this file. Climb and maintain 9,000. Expect flight level 340, 10 minutes after departure. Departure 124.05 squawk. 1551. And we will expect runway 21 right for Delta 277. Delta 1234, read that correct. Contact ground on 132.725 when ready.
Oh, maybe it wants me to put this here. Okay.
We're having mechanical issues. We'll get back to you later. I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
Oh, Katrin's on here. So, what I need to do is simply fix that. And it's got vectors here to bamboo. I'm going to leave that in there. I'm going to leave that route discontinuity because I might need it. I might need it for if it wants to help direct me in flight. So we'll leave that there. Zero fuel weight's 264.1. Our reserves are 13.8. Cruise altitude is 360. Cost index What?
Sir, we are freezing back here. Please do something.
Heavy, we are departing we're requesting clearance for Haneda International in Tokyo, Japan, not Toronto. Delta 275 heavy. Metro clearance Delta 2917 with information. Victor ready for IFR clearance to Providence.
Cost index is 25. You see, it's there. Sometimes I have trouble if I'm not thinking about where it is. I'll flounder. And Windsor 300-21. Our takeoff data, and it has changed because now we're going out on runway 26. Oh no, wait, 0. We're going out on runway 21 right. So 21 right. It's going to be a dry, calm, mostly calm. One 139, 144, 148. They download this like an ACARS on the actual 767. Which is why it takes me longer.
Detroit clearance, Tomjet 2 Romeo Hotel is at gate C14 type Airbus A321 with information Gulf request IFR clearance to Bradley.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
Mission clearance delivery Sky.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
$19. And looks like this should, let's see, set our 148 there. Okay. Flight director's up. Auto throttle armed.
Sir, we are freezing back here. Please do something.
Auto, by the way, doesn't work on that, obviously.
Delta 1727, ready to copy IFR clearance. Give me 1 second for that clearance.
Two 9.78 is QNH we're looking for. And you notice how you don't have to switch back and forth between the way you're reading your QNH information there. That's nice. RTO is active. RTO is active. And we're looking for our takeoff settings, climb settings. So takeoff is what we'll leave at for now. All right. Alright, so now we need to bring up our APU.
Aircraft calling Detroit Metro, say your request.
Spirit 1676 is clear to LaGuardia, Pavel to SB, then as filed, climb and maintain 5,000, departure frequency 125.525, squawk 2022, expect 22 left for departure.
Check it. Detroit clearing, United Express, 6320, West Foxtrot, requesting IFI clearance to Washington Doors.
And we're about to switch over to APU power. I've done it wrong before to where it wipes my FMS, and I have to go back in and reload it. It's aggravating. It's been good practice to learn how to do it, though. I will say that. And GPU is off and taken away. And let's see if I can get this to get our power, our pressure up the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to, I think, bring those up.
Clear to Philadelphia, Pablo 3 departure, then as filed, maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 330, 13 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 124.05, squawk 1557. Expect 21 right for Delta 717.
Sir, we are freezing back here. Please do something.
Correction. Delta 225 and requesting about turn to...
Oops, I think I found out what was wrong. Okay, got it. Okay, so APU is on. Battery is on. And right now what I'm trying to do is make sure our pressure is correct. Okay. Now, okay. Figured that out. Okay. Brian, we're ready for our push and start clearance. You are in charge of all comms.
Got it, Steve. I'll handle the pushback request.
Metro Ground Delta 8853 Heavy, we are requesting pushback and we have information X-ray.
Delta 8853 Heavy, pushback approved, tail west. This is good morning. Delta 1303, request pushback and start. Delta 1303 Heavy, pushback and start approved, tail southwest. Delta 1303 Heavy, contact tower on 135.0.
Weather's kind of odd for this time of the day in Detroit.
Delta 1828. Thank you.
Delta 1828, you're welcome. Central ground, Delta 6054, correction, tail northeast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the head purser. The crew would like to welcome you on board this Boeing airliner. It is very cold in the cabin. If you haven't already done so, are unhappy. Please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin. The flight crew will do everything possible to make your flight comfortable and enjoyable. Xplane.org, Step 2 Sky, and Flight Factor wish you a pleasant flight experience.
I think the passengers are going to begin to think it's too hot.
Attention, all flight attendants, doors automatic. Ladies and gentlemen, we request your full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the metal fittings one into the other and tighten it by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. In the event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, hold the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing into the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first, and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until the crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. Life vests are located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest, slip it over your head, pass the straps around your waist, and adjust at the front. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord. Only when moving aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpieces. Use the whistle and light to attract attention. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. The following electronic devices: smartphones, CD
So
players,
connected
laptop
and
computers
bypass
may
pin
be used
inserted.
when the
Release
seatbelt
parking
sign is
brake.
on, or when permitted by the crew. Mobile telephones, remote control.
Starting
phones.
pushback.
Any electronic devices operating with an antenna must be turned off at
Hey,
all times.
quit
We remind
blinding
you
me with your
that
taxi
this is a
light.
non-smoking flight.
Turn it off.
Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors installed in the lavatories is prohibited by law. You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members.
Flight attendants, prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and all call.
Thank you.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board your Delta flight. So in just a moment, we'll be showing you a brief presentation on the safety features of this aircraft. We kindly ask that you please direct your attention to the video monitors and flight attendants in the aisle, even if you are a frequent flyer. Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard, and thank you for choosing Delta for 100 years and counting.
Delta.
Delta. Delta.
Delta Airlines.
The health and safety of our customers and crew is our #1 priority and the shared responsibility of everyone on board. So, before we depart, please pay attention to this important message. Stow all carry-on items in an overhead bin and place smaller items completely under the seat in front of you.
Larger electronic devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should also be secured.
Keep the aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas clear. If you lose an electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask a crew member for help.
As we leave the gate, fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and adjusting the strap so it's low and tight across your lap. To release, lift the top of the buckle. If your seat has a shoulder harness, attach the metal tip to the fitting on the belt. To release, push the metal tip down. Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on, and keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rough air. In the event of rough air, the crew might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with all crew members' instructions, along with the posted placards and lighted information signs throughout the cabin. Smoking, vaping, the use of e-cigarettes or any smokeless product, including chewing tobacco, is not allowed on any Delta flight. Federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying restroom smoke detectors.
There are 8 exits on this plane, 8 doors, 4 on each side. Each door has a detachable slide that can be used as a raft.
In the event of an evacuation, leave all bags behind. Carry-on baggage will slow the evacuation. All exits are clearly marked with the green exit symbol. Locate the nearest exits and remember, they might be behind you. If we lose power, lights will illuminate the aisles to guide you to an exit.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will drop from the panels above your seat and inside the lavatories. Reach up and pull a mask or streamer down to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask
we
over
need
your
taxi
nose and
clearance
mouth.
to 21
Slip the
right.
elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note the oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
I'll take care of the taxi clearance.
A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case. Life vests are in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. A water-activated light is attached to each vest. For children under 35 pounds, place the vest around their waist and secure the strap between the legs. See your safety card for more information. Additional life vests for in-lab children are in marked compartments at the front and rear of the plane. We'll distribute these vests if necessary.
Before takeoff, bring your seat to its upright position and stow your tray table, footrest, and leg rest. Be sure you fastened your seatbelt low and tight across your lap, carry-on items secured, and armrests are at resting position, or as otherwise indicated on the placard in front of you. If you have a suite door, ensure it's open. See placard instructions inside the suite door for opening instructions in case of emergency. Finally, take a moment to review the safety information card in your seat pocket.
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions.
As we take off into the future, sit back and relax. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta, today and for the next 100 years.
I will say this: having the that audio kind of makes it more immersive. Would you agree? It kind of gives it more of a real feel. flight factor, the one thing I must say, I wish you had the altitude. I can't, unless there's that's a pop out I don't know about, or there's a pop out here. I wish I could pop it out. Like and have it, like I do this. For the time of day it is, it's awfully dark here. Is that a cloud cover? I guess it is. Brian, do you want to go and get our takeoff clearance?
I can't handle that until you hand over the comms to me.
Brian, you're in charge of all comms. Please get takeoff clearance.
I'll get the takeoff clearance.
Okay. So we're set for our takeoff. The last things we always do is check our runway for one on our checklist, and I'm going to cheat. 2-1 right, as well as straighten up because I'm crooked. Okay, flaps 5. Confirm flaps 5. Flaps are at 5. Reject takeoff is set. And in the event of rejected takeoff up to 80 miles per hour, we will, or 80 kilometers, we'll slow back down. 80 kilometers, not 80 knots. We will execute a full stop, smoky full stop, and gauge reversers. Beyond that, we will take off. And I think that's all I have to say for the moment. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, APU is off. All lights are on. And once we take off, we actually will be executing a kind of a turnaround to get back into position. I have LNAV and VNAV activated so that when I do hit the autopilot, that we can go ahead and begin our turnaround to get back on our navigation path. So. And like I said, the popcorn for the show comes when I see if I'm going to be able to correctly set up my ILS. This will be my first successful landing with a 767 if I can do it. Last landing I ended up having to go RNAV and do a visual landing, and it was not fun. Okay. All right. Toga. Little forward pressure on the stick. Brakes off. A little bit more left rudder than right rudder on this. And V1, rotate. We have a positive rate. Gear up. Okay, gear is in and flaps have been retracted.
Detroit ground, Delta 389 requesting taxi clearance. Clearance on request, stand by.
And autopilot engaged.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we climb to our cruising altitude, we'd like to extend a special thank you to each of you, and a welcome back to our SkyMile members and Million Milers. Your business and loyalty are greatly appreciated by the entire Delta family. For your safety, it's important to remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience any unexpected rough air. We ask that you also please remember to use caution if opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during takeoff. We've now reached an altitude where it's safe to use approved electronic devices, and a listing of these devices can be found in Sky Magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, it'll be our pleasure to offer you complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water and juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies. Beer, wine, and spirits are available complimentary for our first class and Delta Comfort Plus passengers, as well as available for purchase for the main cabin. A complete listing of available beverages, as well as of our fresh eats items, can be found in the menus in your seat pocket. Please be reminded that Delta accepts only major credit or debit cards for onboard purchases of beverages and snacks. However, you can use your Delta SkyMiles American Express card to save 50% and earn double miles on all Delta purchases. For your enjoyment, each seat is equipped with your own personal entertainment system. On it, you can view a selection of complimentary as well as on-demand TV shows, movies, and music. You will find that this screen will work best with just a light tap of your fingertip. Feel free to use your own headsets. Otherwise, if you do need a headset, just let a flight attendant know they are yours complimentary for this and any future Delta flights.
And we're climbing again. Okay. I don't know what the 3100 at or above thing's all about there. This thing climbs really efficiently. Let's see, I need to change my settings here. Climb. Right, lights off. And logo lights off. And we're going to be intercepting our next waypoint. I'll show you what it looks like. Right there, Paul. And that's our whole route right there. So we're basically heading south. I wouldn't mind knowing some more history on the 767-300 model. So our cabin pressure, if I understand all this, is fine. But we don't have to take any further action. I'm used to on the 737-800 having to do more. And it looks like everything is peachy. case anyone cares to know, I just updated the 767-300 to the latest version today. And the Xplane also just had an update that went out today. It must not have been a very large one because it only took just a minute. It's a quick minute to install, but both are updated. The 777 also had an update today from Flight Factor, but I have not I haven't looked at it and seen what it changed or did. We're going out on ILS 26 right at 110.10. And I'm just going to leave that there for now. The ILS steps for ILS, I think so. 110.10 is our approach. I've entered it here, but I'm not sure if I even had to. That's why I'm saying I'm just learning this. I need to read more and talk about it less, but I've been watching a couple of good guys that fly the 757, and they've had a lot of good, useful information. So I'm hopped up on guaifenesin today. That's the first thing you'd like to hear your pilot say. And tell you what, got a cold head, all that stuff kicking my tail right now. I guess if I was in a real plane, my head would be hurting worse. So. And so the cloud formations that you're looking at here and are coming from active sky, and I went back to active sky because Xplane did something to the the way the cloud formations looked. I don't know what they changed on the latest update. So I just went back to what I knew and what worked and what looked better. So, and Active Sky, I didn't realize how good it looked until I'd been on Xplane for a while. But for a while there, Xplane really looked really good. Not sure what they changed. I'm streaming through OBS, and I do that because it's a whole lot easier than anything I've found so far. Works great. I've got my views already set. It's just no sense in changing. I haven't ate them, actually. Blackmagic ate them, but I just haven't found a good reason to try to switch to it. This seems to work for me. Let's see if any messages I need to get out here. We're almost at cruise altitude. Any other messages?
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments, the flight attendants will be passing around the cabin to offer you cold drinks, as well as a light meal. Please make sure your seats are in an upright position and prepare your folded trays.
Sounds crazy, but one of the best pasta salads I've ever had was on a flight from Miami to Comayagua, Honduras. Don't know why. It was just like, I'm not a pasta salad guy, but I don't know what it was. That was one of the few times I flew in first class or business class, and it was really nice. A friend I was traveling with had some disabilities, and so we just took advantage of being able to sit in business class, and it was really good. Nice. It was a nice experience. Alright, let's see where we are. See, I'll give you kind of a relative to everything. We are 398 miles from Atlanta, traveling at 360. I don't know if it's anything I did, but so normally on the 757, if it's like one of the airlines, not a virtual airline, but one of the airlines, they have a card system and they can pull in their flight plan. But on the 767 that we're on here, you have to enter. I don't know another way. You tell me. There are some settings in the iPad, like, but anytime I tried to use it or click on it, it shot me out of Xplane. It literally would, like, something would happen. It would, in short, do the old BSOD routine, but it just knocked me out of the program. So I don't even touch it anymore because it's a lot of work to get to where you are up in the sky, and I don't want to mess it up. So, you know. Millie, do you have any words of wisdom as we cruise at 360?
As we cruise at 36,000 feet, remember to monitor your fuel flow and engine performance closely. It's also a great time to review your approach charts for catalyst. Staying ahead of the aircraft is key.
There's our fuel. So we don't use the center pumps at all for this. Strictly the left pumps and the right pumps, aft and forward. There's no need for cross feed or anything. Everything's just fine like it is. Unless we were running into something where we got really out of balance, something was wrong, then we might make some changes. But we're not changing anything because I don't know what I'm doing. Another thing you want to hear your pilot say. Didn't mean to do that. So we're en route to the Stays waypoint. See if I can make this work. If I do fix, I should be able to put in. Let's fix. RW 26 right. Okay. Whoa. RW 26. Okay. Doesn't take. 26 right. How about KAT? Okay, I don't know if it really wasn't advantageous to me, other than it did allow me to put that information in there, but I was trying to put the runway in there. Nah, it's alright. Alright. And we're nearing the halfway mark for the flight. Right. One thing I noticed, I watched the pilot I was watching for a tutorial on for the 757 is he made sure he was on the VOR first. Everything was established on the VOR. Then went and did the approach. So I'm going to try it that way. If I understand this, and this is like a 767, 757, but I understand this so you have your limits. It shows you your limits, and we're staying well within the limits. You notice how when it's got a cruise limit there, which is what we're at right now, but that we need to stay within that, I guess. Molly, how fast are we going? Or Millie?
We're currently cruising at a ground speed of 447 knots. That's pretty efficient for our altitude.
What is our speed in miles per hour?
Our ground speed is 447 knots, which is about 514 miles per hour. That's a solid cruising speed.
Awesome. This thing flies. Of course it does. You know what I mean. get an idea how close we are. 282 miles to our destination, and as it stands now, we have everything set. We have Millie, question for you. Do we have to enter our ILS frequency in the 767, or when we put our departure arrival info in and the runway, does it automatically put it in?
You typically need to enter the ILS frequency manually in the 767 unless you're using an advanced flight management system that automatically populates it based on your route and runway selection. Always double check to ensure you're set up correctly for the approach.
I know how I can check it. So if I go to init ref, okay, right there you see the 110.10.26. If I mess with this, it does not change it. So it appears that that is correct. So also it says front CRS. So our approach it references 26 right, but it says 275. And we need to double check that anyway, so let's go pull up our ILS 26 right. Okay. So according to this, yeah. So it has our final approach course at, first of all, our 110.10 for our localizer, 275 for our runway heading, and we're at 1026 is our elevation level. And you see here Zelo, Bamboo, so if we look here, and all that's correct, 110.10. Wait. There's Zelo here. Do I need to enter?
Scattered at 5,000 feet. Broken at 7,000 feet. Broken at 8,500 feet. Temperature 16. Dew point 4. Altimeter 2988. Density altitude 3700 feet. Mercer County Airport. Automated surface observation. 18520. Wind 260 at 13 gusting 29. Visibility 10. Sky conditions.
I'm leaving that vector in there. Okay.
Broken at 7,000 feet. Broken at 8,500 feet. Temperature
Missed approach, climb to 1800, then climb right, turning 4000.
Density altitude 3700 feet. Mercer County Airport. Automated surface observation. 18520. Wind 260 at 13 gusting 29.
Brian, would you get
Sky conditions. Scattered at
runway expectation, please?
Broken at 7,000 feet. Broken at 8,500 feet. Temperature
I'll get the takeoff clearance for runway 21 right.
Brian, I don't want takeoff clearance. I want the expectation of our runway at Atlanta.
Mercer County Airport. Automated surface
Steve,
observation.
we're expected to land on runway 26 left at Atlanta. Let me know if you need anything else.
13 gusting 29. Visibility 10. Sky conditions. Scattered at 5,000 feet. Broken at 7,000 feet. Broken at 8,500 feet. Temperature 16. Dew point 4. Altimeter 2988. Density altitude 3700 feet. Mercer County Airport. Wind 260 at 1.
Brian, what frequency are we supposed to be monitoring right now?
We're currently on 126.375 with Indianapolis Center.
Okay. Okay, so in any case, I'm comfortable that we're on the correct we're monitoring and we're on the correct ILS frequency. Also on the 737, you have to ensure that your course directors are both on the same bearing as the airport that you're en route to. But I don't think you have to do that on this aircraft. That's back to where the subtle nuances and differences from one to the other, like the VOR is not the flight director. Millie, on the 737-800, you have two separate flight directors that you have to have the heading set correctly to land on ILS or it causes issues. Is there something similar like that on the 767, or is it not needed?
On the 767, you do have flight directors, but they work a bit differently than on the 730, 7,800. You should ensure that both flight directors are set to the correct approach mode for ILS, but they don't require separate heading settings like the 730, 7,800. Just make sure the autopilot is configured correctly for the ILS approach, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, Millie, so clarifying, I don't have to set the course director heading to be on the right approach. It automatically does that.
That's correct. On the 767, when you select the ILS approach mode, the flight director will automatically set the correct course for you. Just ensure you're in the right approach mode and it will guide you in.
I see. Millie, tell me about, on the 767, tell me about the VOR, DME, auto, and manual, and what it's for. How do you use it?
On the 767, the VORDME system allows you to navigate using VOR signals combined with DME distance information. In auto mode, the system automatically tunes to the nearest VOR station and provides you with both the radial and distance to the station. In manual mode, you can select a specific VOR frequency and use it for navigation. To use it, ensure your VOR frequency is set and then monitor the DME readout for distance information. This is particularly useful for approaches and holding patterns. Remember, using VORDME effectively can enhance your situational awareness.
Interesting. It really is. I mean, this one system on the 767 I've never used, and I can't think of a scenario at the moment that I would use it. It'd be cool, like, to do a whole flight with just using it, seeing if you can get to where you're going. Right, we're monitoring right now. Like we're about to hit Cattern waypoint. About to sup something there. I think we might wait until we get to Pup Dog to begin our descent. It's a pretty nice livery. Simple, but nice. Alright, we're on our way now to Thurs waypoint. That's still at Mach 77 at 360. Pup Dog is 77 at 360, and then we'll begin our descent. See what I'll set it to, and then I've got it set to 18,000, but actually I can drop this down to 13,000 for now. And we're at 192 miles. I'll be right back. Brian, we would like to begin our descent on our arrival. If you could get our clearance.
I'll get the descent clearance for you.
Indianapolis Center, Delta 8853. Heavy, requesting clearance to descend for arrival into Atlanta.
Delta 8853, heavy radar contact.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened and all carry-on luggage stored underneath the seat in front of you or the overhead bins.
Delta 8853, heavy, expect to descend in about 5 minutes. Say the word if you want to descend sooner.
Expecting descent in about 5 minutes. We'll advise if we need to descend sooner. Delta 8853, heavy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that use of all electronic...
Delta 8853, heavy, contact Atlanta Center on 127.55.
Switching to Atlanta Center on 127.55. Delta 8853, heavy. Atlanta Center, Delta 8853, heavy, afternoon, descending through flight level 360.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our initial descent.
Heavy,
At
Atlanta
this time, we
Center,
ask that
good
you
afternoon.
begin to recheck the security of your seatbelt. And if you've removed any items from the overhead bins, please begin to restow them at this time. Please check around your seating area and the seat pocket in front of you for any cups, glasses, or other articles you wish to discard. Kindly hand these items to the flight attendants as they make their way through the aisle. Thank you so much. We should be landing in approximately 15 to 20 minutes.
Millie, on my descent area of my FMS, what is the DESDIR, DESDIR button? What's that for after I've hit my descent now?
The DESDIR button on your FMS is used to activate the descent profile that you've programmed. Once you hit your descent, pressing DESDIR will ensure that the aircraft follows the planned descent path to your next waypoint. It helps maintain the correct vertical profile for a smooth descent. Just make sure your waypoints are set correctly.
Alright, we got a little bit of speed brake going on here. And we're maintaining about 256 knots. It's good. I'm good. We're at 320 and descending. I have it set to descend down to 130. I don't know, by the time we get there, it probably will be a little bit more. It knows, VNAV knows to stay on the flight plan path, so it will automatically adjust. We need some more speed brake. All that does basically is it disrupts the flow of air that comes over the wing and buys me a little bit of speed brake. No pun intended. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit. Your pilot is full of NyQuil and guaifenesin. That would go over real well. I'm taking my altimeter, my altitude down to, or my dial down to 4,000. I'm letting VNAV do the work, so it's not going to just go down to 4,000, but it'll kind of take care of things. Must be the Georgia mountains. I don't know. I was very intimidated by the 767 when I first pulled it out to try it, because first of all it looks so old and archaic when you first get in the cockpit, but it looks like they have like changed it around a little bit. I mean, the 737-800 by no means is like looks modern, but you see the similarities enough to where it's easy to get back and forth between the two. So it must be true that Boeing's are very similar, same as the Airbuses. according to our flight plan, until we get to the smelly waypoint, we can stay around 275 knots. – 240 and descending. By the way, there's one thing weird in 767 is the cockpit windows open up. That's weird to me. But they say that you can actually take off with the window open. No, you're not supposed to, but that it won't. It's not like a showstopper till you get up and you close it. Millie, why do I have two dials for the altitude in front of me?
The two dials for altitude are typically the indicated altitude and the pressure altitude. The indicated altitude shows your current altitude based on the altimeter setting, while the pressure altitude is used for performance calculations and can help you understand your aircraft's performance in relation to standard atmospheric conditions. It's important to keep an eye on both, especially during climbs and descents.
That makes sense. Because the one where I can set my altimeter, and then one that's yeah, makes sense. I have left on my speed brake, but I think I don't want to pull it back yet. I'm still at 274. Let's try it. What if I pull it back? So he just cuts back on the throttle. That works. Okay. This is cool. Active sky clouds, they look good. Look really good. Millie, on the 737-800, I have to cut back and forth between STD, having my altimeter on STD. Do you not have to do that on the 767?
On the 767, you typically set your altimeter to the local setting as you descend through the transition altitude. You won't need to switch back and forth between standard and local settings like on some other aircraft. Just make sure to set it to the local altimeter once you're below the transition altitude.
Awesome.
Delta 8853, heavy, descend via Andre 1 into Atlanta. Descending via Andre 1 into Atlanta. Delta 8853, heavy.
All right.
Delta 8853, heavy, contact Atlanta, approach on 124.6.
Switching to Atlanta, approach on 124.6. Delta 8853, heavy. Atlanta approach, Delta 8853, heavy afternoon, we're descending through 16,000.
Delta 8853, heavy, Atlanta approach. Good afternoon, Atlanta, altimeter 29.9er. Expect the ILS, runway 26 left approach into Atlanta.
Altimeter 29er, expecting ILS, runway 26 left approach. Delta 8853, heavy.
It just threw us the curveball. Delta 8853, heavy. Is runway 26 right available?
Delta 8853, heavy, confirm you are descending to 13,000 feet for the Andre waypoint. Delta 8853, heavy, runway 26 right is available for arrival.
Requesting
Atlanta altimeter 29.9er.
Cleared for ILS approach, runway 26 right, altimeter 29er. Delta 8853, heavy.
Alright, we're getting our lights up.
Delta 8853, heavy, descend and maintain 3700, turn left, heading 190 vectors for the ILS, runway 26 right approach.
Descend and maintain 3700, left heading 190 for vectors to the ILS 26 right approach. Delta 8853, heavy.
Delta 8853, heavy, descend and maintain 3500.
Descend and maintain 3,500. Delta 8853, heavy.
Alright, I'm going to add Zelo here. Delta 8853 Heavy requesting for direct to Zelo to give us time to get configured.
Delta 8853 volts approved. Descend and maintain 9,000.
Copy. Direct volts approved. 9,000.
Delta 8853, heavy, proceed direct bamboo, cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach.
Proceeding direct bamboo, cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach. Delta 8853, heavy.
Delta 8853 heavy. We're requesting clearance to go to waypoint Zelo first before bamboo to give us some time to configure.
Delta 8853, heavy, proceed direct to volts, then bamboo, cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach.
Proceeding direct to volts, then bamboo, cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach. Delta 8853, heavy.
I think what I'm saying makes sense, doesn't it? He's not interpreting what I'm saying. He keeps saying volts, but volts is we passed volts. I think that's Stone Mountain. I'm not positive. I think it is. Right, we're about to take some drastic speed changes. I think 240 at Zelo is about to happen.
Southwest 340, contact Atlanta Center on 135.0.
Right, come and cut that back. We're going to flaps 1.
Attention all aircraft. Altimeter 3000.
What's just happening? I'd like to go gear down a little bit early, but we'll hold off just a minute. Flaps are at 2, which is 5. And we're about to go gear out.
Papa Alpha, request 5,000. 10 maintain 5,000, 6 Papa Alpha. 6 Papa Alpha, turn right heading 200. Right heading 200, 6 Papa Alpha.
Delta 8853, heavy contact Atlanta Tower on 119.1. Switching to Atlanta Tower on 119.1, Delta 8853, heavy. Atlanta Tower, Delta 8853. Heavy, good afternoon. We're established on the ILS approach for runway 26 right.
Delta 8853, heavy Atlanta Tower, roger. Continue approach.
Alright, we should be about to lock in here. Please, let's go. Or this will be my first time if with an ILS approach. So you're gonna take it. It looks like it took.
Over to departure, Cessna 432 Foxtrot Lima. American 278, contact departure. Departure, American 278, see you later.
Right, we're at full flaps 30. Here's what it looks like. so I didn't. I've noticed. Okay, so I haven't had to do anything else. I haven't had to. Normally, I have to activate the command B on the autopilot, second autopilot. I haven't had to do that. Approach is active. I guess it's just lit. See? And all three of my autopilots are active. Alright. Alright. I have not taken control right now. I'm on auto land. Like the autopilot's doing most of the work right now, but at some point I'll probably take back the throttle.
1,000.
Back, here it goes. I have the throttle.
Delta 398, contact Dobbins radar on 120.225.
120.225 to Delta 398.
Delta 8853, heavy Atlanta Tower, winds 310 at 14. Runway 26 right, clear to land.
Runway 26 right, clear to land.
We're
Delta 88
totally.
heavy.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right, thrusters are engaged. Forward pressure on the yoke. Passengers are clapping. I don't know what they expected.
Delta 8853, heavy, welcome to Atlanta. Contact ground on 121.65.
Switching to ground on 121.65, Delta 8853, heavy. Atlanta ground, Delta 8853,
Please remain
heavy
seated with
afternoon.
your
We're
seatbelt
clear,
securely
runway
fastened
26 right,
until the
ready to
captain has
taxi to the
parked the
gate.
aircraft at the gate and turned off the seatbelt sign.
Delta
This will be your one
8853
and only
heavy, Atlanta
indication that
ground,
it's safe for
taxi
you
to
to get up and
D42
move about the
via
cabin.
hotel, cross runway 8 right, then
Please be
Foxtrot
reminded to
2,
use caution
Foxtrot
when
4
opening overhead
northeast. Have a
bins
good day.
to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted
D42
during
via
landing.
hotel, cross 8 right, Foxtrot 2,
You may now use
Foxtrot
your
4
mobile
northeast.
phones and other
Delta
handheld electronic
8853,
devices
heavy.
while we taxi to the gate. However, your laptop computers and larger
I
electronics
think where I messed up is I didn't disengage the autopilot. You just notice that little bit of fighting I did with my aircraft. I should have disengaged autopilot.
If any of you should have questions regarding ground transportation, baggage claim, or any other information, a Uniform Delta agent meeting this flight will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. On behalf of Delta Sky Team, our global partners, and flight crew, we'd like to thank you all for flying with us. We've enjoyed having you on board and look forward to the opportunity to serve you once again. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Flight attendants, prepare doors for arrival, please. Cross-check and all call.
We'll go back and watch it. It had a great landing, but toward the end, I lost. Like when I once I touched down, I should have disengaged the autopilot. I think it was create some issues for me to be able to control my aircraft. really too big for this area, but we're going to stop it. We're going to gate here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go to ground and get a GPU. Chocks. We're going to need, we need actually gate configuration. See what I forgot to do? And this is why I have my own special spot. Look at that. Wow, a good flight. All right, man. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Those who were here. Lessons learned on that one. Like I said, this is my first. Actually, my first actual landing with the 767. There were similarities with the 737. Say Intentions was a big help to me because I was able to compare. She would tell me, like, she's AI, but she would tell me the differences in the different flights. So that helped. That really helped today. So I look forward to more flights on this particular. This is the virtual airline Delta, but I love the 767. It looks like it's going to be a good aircraft.